Elbit Systems Ltd is an Israel-based international defense electronics company engaged in a wide range of programs throughout the world. The company, which includes Elbit Systems and its subsidiaries, operates in the areas of aerospace, land and naval systems, command, control, communications, computers, intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance, unmanned aircraft systems, advanced electro-optics, electro-optic space systems, EW suites, signal intelligence systems, data links and communications systems and radios. The company also focuses on the upgrading of existing military platforms, developing new technologies for defense, homeland security and commercial aviation applications and providing a range of support services, including training and simulation systems. Elbit Systems has approximately 12,000 employees, the majority of whom are engaged in engineering, research and development, and other technical areas. Elbit Systems shares are traded on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange and OTC in the United States. History Early years. A division within Elbit. Elbit Systems was founded in 1966 by Elbit Electronic Industries, which combined the existing expertise within the Israel Ministry of Defense Research Institute and Special Computer Design with Elbit's experience in electronic product design, manufacture and management. Elbit steadily expanded developing and producing logistic support weapon delivery and navigation systems for most Israeli aircraft, establishing a combat avionics package for the IAL fighter aircraft, and producing a fire control system for the Merkava tank. 1996 IPO on Nasdaq. In 1996, Elbit spun off into three independent companies, Elbit Medical Imaging Nasdaq, EMITF Euro. During 1999 to 2000 Elsint and Elbit Medical Imaging sold their imaging activities to General Electric Medical Systems and to Picker for approximately $600 million. Elbit Systems Euro created as the defense electronics arm of Elbit. The company had an initial public offering on the Nasdaq stock market with the symbol Nasdaq, ESLT, and finished its first day of trading at a price of $7.75. Elbit Systems has a market cap of over $3 billion. Elbit Euro, which focused on communications activities and in 1999 led the consortium that founded Partner Communications Company Limited, Israel's first GSM operator Nasdaq, PTNR. In 2002, Elbit was merged into Elbit. Elbit sold its shares in Partner during 2003 Euro 2006 for approximately $160 million. Merger with Elop. In 2000 Elbit Systems merged with Elop, creating the largest non-governmental defense electronics company in Israel and increasing Elbit Systems' value, which later in 2004 enabled Elbit to sell its shares in Elbit Systems for approximately $200 million. Following the merger with Elop, Michael Federman became the largest shareholder in the combined group. Growth by acquisition. Following the merger with Elop, Michael Federman and CEO Joseph Ackerman led an aggressive growth by acquisitions strategy. The company acquired companies, including, Elizra, Tadiran Communications, Shiran Satellite Communications, BVA Systems, assets of Israel Military Industries Euro unregistered trademark Aircraft Systems Division, Innovative Concepts, Incorporated. Mikkel Limited. Elbit subsequently announced a cash tender offer for the 12.15% remainder of ITL held by the public. Recent news. In October 2014, Elbit Systems won a $12.7 million contract for the supply and provision of Apache Aviator integrated helmets for the U.S. Army helicopter fleet. The contract would be delivered over a 2-year period. Major subsidiaries, Elbit Systems Intelligence and Electro-Optics Euro Elop Limited. Elbit Systems Land and Sea 4I Limited. Elbit Systems EW and SIGINT Euro Elizra Limited. Elbit Systems Euro Cyclone Limited. Elbit Security Systems Limited. Kinetics Limited. SCD Euro Semiconductor Devices, Opcal Euro Optronics Industries Limited. Elbit Systems of America, LLC. Former holdings and spin-offs. Elbit Vision Systems a developer and manufacturer of automated optical inspection solutions for textile manufacturing processes, founded in 1992 and had an initial public offering on the Nasdaq in 1996. Chip PC Technologies a developer and manufacturer of thin client solutions for server-based computing. Elbit acquired 20% of the company in 2005. Global presence. Europe France on June 19, 2011, Elbit announced that its subsidiary Electro-Optic Systems Ltd was awarded a contract valued at approximately $5 million to supply hundreds of units of its ANPR C684 personal locator beacon to the French Ministry of Defense, equipping the French Air Force, Army, Navy and DGA. The project is to be performed within 24 months. Italy on June 22, 2011, Elbit announced that it was awarded a contract valued in excess of $15 million by Elettronica S.p.A. to participate in a program to supply the ELT-572 DISCM system for installation on various platforms of the Italian Air Force, including the C-130J, C-27J and AW-101. The contract is to be performed over the next 3 years. Macedonia. In February 2004, Elbit Systems started modernization of 4 helicopters and Airbase Petrovic for Macedonian Air Force with equipment for flight and combat in night environments. On May 11, 2011, Ministry of Defense signed a contract for building a training center for pilots with simulators for Mi-17 and Mi-24 helicopters. Simulators was produced by Romanian company Simulc, ownership of Elbit Systems. On March 2, 2014, Centaur was opened with ceremony led by President of Republic of Macedonia George Ivanov, Premier of Republic of Macedonia Nikola Gruevski, ex-minister from Ministry of Defense and other guests. Romania Elbit Systems activities in Romania, which started in 1996, are primarily carried out through its wholly owned Romanian subsidiaries, Elbit System S.A., AE Electronics S.A., Elmit International S.r.l. and Simulc S.r.l., which employ approximately 400 employees. On May 24, 2011, Elbit announced that it was awarded a contract valued at approximately $18.6 million to upgrade the Romanian Air Force's C-130 transport aircraft. According to the agreement, the C-130 aircraft will be installed with various types of advanced electronic systems, including those produced by Elbit Systems' wholly owned subsidiary Electro-Optic Systems Ltd. The project, to be performed over 4 years, will be executed in cooperation with local companies in Romania, led by the Romanian aeronautical industry. United Kingdom in 2005, Elbit set up a joint venture company in the UK with Thales, UAV Tactical Systems Ltd, developing the British Army Watchkeeper WK-450. On December 7, 2007, it was announced that Kinetic will join the program as a subcontractor to provide testing services at Parker Bepworth, West Wales. In 2007, Elbit acquired Ferranti Technologies Ltd. North America United States Elbit owns several companies in the United States through its American subsidiary, Elbit Systems of America, EFW in Fort Worth, Texas. EFW manufactures various components for the F-16, V-22, and Bradley fighting vehicle, among other programs. It was initially the electronics manufacturing facility for General Dynamics operations in Fort Worth. When GD sold its aviation business to Lockheed Martin, the latter was not interested in the facility, which was then sold to Elbit. IEI in Talladega, Alabama, Colesman Incorporated in Merrimack, New Hampshire. Colesman is a subcontractor to Boeing on Spynet, a high-tech security system for the U.S.-Mexico border in conjunction with the United States Department of Homeland Security. Telecom in Tallahassee, Florida, Innovative Concepts, incorporated in McLean, Virginia, purchased in November 2008 from Hurley Industries, VSI in San Jose, California, UAS Dynamics in Fort Mill, South Carolina, M7 Aerospace in San Antonio, Texas. South America Brazil in 2001, Aeroeltronica, a Brazilian company that had more than 2 decades of experience in the defense industry, has become a part of the Elbit Systems Group. In January 2011, Elbit announced that it had bought two more Brazilian companies, Ares Aeroespacial e Defesa, and Periscopio Equipamentos Optrônicos. In April 2011, Embraer has entered into a strategic agreement with Elbit Systems SA, a wholly owned subsidiary of Elbit Systems. The two companies were yet to define the specific programs to be pursued but, according to officials from the two companies, the main goals of the cooperation were the expanding of joint activities in the area of unmanned aircraft systems, including the anticipated creation of a jointly owned company, with majority participation of Embraer D&S. One of the primary goals of the joint venture will be to promote the introduction and use of Elbit Systems' Hermes 450 UAV in the service of the Brazilian Air Force. Colombia Euro. In March 2010, a $28 million contract for Hermes 450 UAVs was suspended by the Colombian government after media reports based on anonymous letters alleged that Colombian officials had been bribed. The Israeli Ministry of Defense investigated and found that the letters likely came from Israel Aerospace Industries, a competitor that lost the tender. The incident led to a review of the regulations governing overseas competition between Israeli defense companies. Divestment. On September 3, 2009, the Norwegian pension fund's ethical council decided to sell the fund's stocks in Elbit due to the corporation's supply of surveillance systems for the Israeli West Bank barrier. At a press conference to announce the decision, Minister of Finance Kristin Halvorsen said, "We do not wish to fund companies that so directly contribute to violations of international humanitarian law." The Norwegian ambassador to Israel was called to a meeting at the Israeli Foreign Ministry where the decision was protested. In January 2010, Danske Bank added Elbit to the list of companies that fail its socially responsible investment policy. A bank spokesman noted that it was acting in the interests of its customers by not placing their money in companies that violate international standards. The Danish financial watchdog Danwatch has also placed Elbit on its ethical blacklist, and one of Denmark's largest pension fund administrators, PKA Limited, announced it will no longer consider investing in Elbit, stating the ICJ stated that the barrier only serves military purposes and violates Palestinian human rights. Therefore, we have looked at whether companies produce custom-designed products to the wall and thus has a particular involvement in repressive activities. In March 2010, a Swedish pension fund not wanting to be associated with companies which in its opinion are violating international treaties, boycotted Elbit Systems for being involved in constructing the Israeli West Bank security fence. The company is also on the exclusion list of Aviation products. Unmanned aerial vehicles Elbit Hermes 90, Elbit Hermes 450, Elbit Hermes 900, Elbit Skylark, Silver Arrow Micro V, Silver Arrow Sniper. Unmanned surface vehicles, Silver Marlin. See also, Economy of Israel, Science and Technology in Israel. References. External links, Elbit Systems Ltd website, Elbit Systems of America website, Watchkeeper Tactical UAV System.